This is the Before the Whistle pregame show. I'm Trent Steffen.
I'm Nicholas Darian.
First, we're going to get off on the topic of returning starters tonight for the Trojans. Hunter Garrison coming back from the IL with a leg injury. How do you feel about that, Noodle?
I mean, it's absolutely heartbreaking that he had to miss that game. You know, one of their star players. He also played linebacker.
Yeah.
I heard he led his team in tackles, and it's absolutely a heartbreaking loss for them. But if they can just get back on the right foot here, and I feel like they have a good chance.
Right.
And,
glad to have him back, man.
Yeah, just good chance today. In those odds.
Another guy, he played last week, but Jordan Davenport had a little hand injury. Hoping he's 100% going into tonight and throughout the rest of the season, surely.
I mean, yeah, you kind of need him. He's one of our better wide receivers.
He is a big blue guy.
He is, and he plays that strong safety. He's very good. Not a lot of balls he lets through.
Right, pretty aggressive player out there. On the topic of starters, we got a chance to interview one of our starters. We're gonna turn to that interview now. You have any nerves going into tonight?
Yeah, I mean, you're always a little nervous, but it's easier when they haven't won a game, haven't scored a point.
Yeah, I like that. Now, playoff odds. Me and Nick, we mentioned earlier that you win this game, but you also got to win Week 9. How do you feel about your playoff odds as of right now?
We're feeling pretty good. I mean, Royal Oak's not looking too hot this year, so should be winnable. I
like that. Last question for you. What's the strategy going into tonight?
I think we're looking at like a ground and pound. We got a great offensive line, great running backs. So, yeah.
I like that. You're returning all your starters tonight from injury.
That was great insight by our interviewer there. So, the last homecoming game for seniors, I mean, I'm a senior. It's my last homecoming game I can go to, but I'm not playing it. So, it's a little different,
Right. I feel like even as you're not a senior, your emotions are running high. So, for the seniors, I can only imagine what they're feeling right now, like the butterflies going into
butterflies
the game.
got to be crazy because, it's a big crowd. Most of your family's coming out to see this
right.
game here because it's homecoming, and most of students are coming out to support you.
And you got the pep rally. The hype leading up to homecoming is unmatched.
Because you got to it feels like you have to win. If you don't win, it's kind of a disappointment to your school. And
absolutely,
it's kind of a sad moment if you don't win here.
Let's look at some key stats going into this game. East Point, not only have they not won a game this year, but they haven't scored a point on any of their opponents this year, which I like our odds.
I like the odds
just
for
off
us,
off that. I like our odds.
But what you can say here is you can't go in too high there. Can't go in too low, can't go in too high, because if you go in too high, you're just gonna overlook them, and maybe they catch you by surprise. Maybe they have some players who can just run the football and they can just pound it, just get in there.
Absolutely. You got to go into every game thinking the same thing. Just got to go in there, play your hardest.
I mean, just got to play every game. You don't get your last.
Absolutely.
Especially those seniors,
hopefully the defense tonight can hold up the shutout against these guys.
Shutout would be crazy.
That'd be pretty nice. Speaking of defense, we got one of our star defensive players. We got a chance to interview him.
Grayson Carroll. So how do you feel about your chances going against the East Point Shamrocks tonight?
Personally, I think we'll blow them out. They've been blowing out every single game. We beat the teams that they lost to, so I think we'll win.
It's a lot of confidence going in. So, how are you feeling before this big homecoming game? You're in the pep rally, talking up the student section. So how are you feeling?
I feel great, but also a lot of nerves coming in. A lot of people coming to this game, big game.
So I'd like to hear from you. So, me and Trent, we talk a lot about the playoff odds for us here. And so, how do you feel about your playoff odds?
I mean, we got to beat East Point, and then we got Royal Oak. They don't look too good this year, but it's going to be a good game always. There's going to be a rivalry with them. They're very close, but hopefully we're in that Detroit playoff bracket.
So I'd like to hear from you. So, we got a lot of, we don't get a lot of insight on your guys' game strategy. No one thinks what you're going to do. So, what's your strategy?
I think what Elliot said, we're just going to pound the ball. We're just going to be running the whole game. And, yeah.
So, just a reminder of what they're playing for playoff-wise. Just to make the playoffs, they can't lose these next two games. And this is one of the big games. Right.
No, all the playoff projections, what I'm seeing tonight, if they win tonight, it means something. But, truly it's going to be that Week 9 matchup against Royal Oak that decides whether they're in or not. That's a huge game. If they drop that one, some say they're the first one out, they win. You're going to be there's a few saying they're going to go play against a top-seeded Michigan Collegiate team, but then you get to go possibly play a team like the Pershing Doughboys.
I
So,
mean,
either way,
that's a good odd. You know, if they beat them, you know, it's gonna bump them up as they were D6 and you know, Royal Oak Division 1.
Right.
And so it's gonna bump
a
you
lot
up
of playoff
playoff.
points
Yeah, it's
right
a
there.
lot of POBs, man.
You got any new routines to show out tonight?
Not any new routines, but we do have some new stunts that we've been working on.
Love to hear it. So are you nervous about, you know, cheering in front of this big homecoming crowd? You know, a lot of families there?
Well, not really. I've been cheering since I was 8, so I'm pretty used to everything and all the adrenaline and stuff.
That's beautiful. So how do you feel about this? How should this student section show out tonight?
I think that everyone needs to come really excited, dressed in their blue and gold, and ready to cheer on all of the boys and stuff.
That's going to wrap up the Before the Whistle pregame show.
And make sure to come in, but if you can't code to the game, tune in on
NFHS, 7
it is.
o'clock. But if you are able to come,
Oh,
7
the name.
o'clock, I think get your tickets on Game Time. Students get in free, so if you're a student, you can get in free. Come show up.
Show up. Be loud. There we go.